Good morning, good afternoon. So the last day of the year to share to our spiritual virtues. And what best way of doing it than with resilience as a spiritual virtue? It is a great gift that we could be cultivating this virtue, especially when many times we are not able to recognize the great capacity that we have to confront others, the job, life, everything. And so resilience will give us that freshness, that knowing that everything is all right and that we can enter the new year with that lightness that is so important to begin any year. So let's begin by taking our pulse and take our attention, intention, and passion into the beat of our hearts. Align your vision, allow your column to be straight, feeling the base of your column. Put your attention there in the base of your column as if the pulse would direct itself like a laser to the base of your column and will start aligning and straightening your back. A soft strengthening and stretching of your back. And take some deep breaths while you synchronize your breath with your beat, feeling how your crown elevates softly towards the sky, and allow your tongue to touch the top of your mouth so we can stimulate the glands in our brain while we meditate. And now we start to raise our frequency quality in which we are vibrating and resonating right now. Take some time right now to observe, how do we feel right now? Because the ends of years are usually very strong in thoughts and feelings, and sometimes judgments and expectations, pain. So, how do we feel right now? How is our frequency? And with a lot of kindness, let's have the intention of raising our frequency quality, knowing that we are here for ourselves. This moment is for ourselves, to feel compassion for ourselves, to take care of ourselves. Choose to raise your frequency quality no matter where you are. Just choose it and put all your intention in doing it, knowing that your love is stronger. We connect the hearts of all of us here and all of those that will join us afterwards in the recording. We connect to all sentient hearts, feeling the cohesion, feeling life. We align to the pulse of the earth and the pulse of the universe. And we start to connect with time, the time in which we are in, the closing of 2024. Let's connect with this time from the pulse of our hearts. Not only the time of us, but the time in the whole planet, the closing of 2024 for the whole planet. And while we are connecting with this specific interface in time, we begin to connect at the same time with resilience as a spiritual virtue. Its frequency, its vibration, the closing at 2024 resilience. Closing 2024, resilience. Resilience is a spiritual virtue that allows us to confront challenges. Doesn't matter what type they are. With this strength, with this hope, what are the challenges that you are feeling in this closing of 2024? You weren't able to do everything that you had to do? Are you missing some love? So what are the challenges? Be aware of this interface in with which we are and the challenges that it conveys. Let's work with the resilience that will allow us to recover balance in any circumstance. Resilience allows us to learn from difficulties and go on with a renewed hope and faith in our own capacity to grow and overcome obstacles. Resilience is not automatic to difficult quality that we need to cultivate. It requires a combination, especially of patience, trust in ourselves, and a deep connection with the purpose of life. In the spiritual realms, resilience connects us with our deepest and most real essence and makes us recognize that adversities are not punishment, but an opportunity to evolve. Resilience. Let's talk about internal resilience. It strengthens our own power, internal power. And as any spiritual virtue, our capacity to front challenges and difficulties, to be firm in our own beliefs and principles, and have the tools to overcome obstacles. Resilience gives us this resistance. We could ask ourselves right now, how are we reacting in front of those challenges of this closing of 2024? Do we crumble easily when we have difficulties in front of us? Or do we find solutions? Do we use our internal resources to face difficulties in a constructive way? Internal resilience does not mean to ignore our own humanity. It doesn't mean to ignore the difficult emotions as sadness, pain, fear, disappointment. On the other, it means we accept those difficult emotions and process those difficult emotions so that we can transform them into positive actions. Therefore, it's not a matter of ignoring that part of ourselves. Resilience generates acceptance, processing, and transformation of those negative emotions, quote unquote, because there's nothing negative really, and everything teaches how to grow. It helps us to transform it into a high energy vibration. Resilience also requires that we acknowledge that each challenge is an opportunity to learn something new about ourselves, about life. So I invite you that with your pulse taken, feeling this interface of closing 2024, feeling those challenges, you ask yourself, what do I have to learn about these challenges? Don't deny them. Don't deny the sadness, the pain. If there is overwhelm, fear of what will happen in 2025, just observe with compassion what this challenge of the closing of 2024. I am strong and adaptable. Every challenge allows me to grow and learn. One of the martial laws that are more important is converting our weakness into force, into strength. In that strength of what is indestructible. A good martial master knows his weaknesses, recognizes them to be able to transform them. This is also resilience. Cultivating resilience, we take into account one very important aspect of life that has to do with unexpected that we don't know. Always are looking for certainty, for security. And we just consider how things should be, how they should go on, how should be. Always has a space to observe that is unexpected at any level. Today, we can prepare ourselves from resilience, enforcing the trust and our own autonomy, knowing that no matter what happens, we are here for ourselves, to protect, to love ourselves, to find the best path, because we are our best allies, we are our best friends. The unexpected, we tend to reject it, but it has deep learnings, deep teachers and blessings. Let's embrace the unexpected because it's a fundamental part of life. We all know how keen of control life is unexpected. We have all gone through unexpected situations. So connect through the pulse of your heart with an unexpected situation you have already faced, and in the face of which at that time you could not react with a high frequency quality, with an access, and choose to turn that into resilience. Feel that that love that is stronger allows you to react with full compassion, with presence, with complete surrender. This will give you a reference point that, so when something unexpected happens, you can say, now I know I am in the unexpected, and I allow myself to be patient with myself, to be able to choose love and not fear. This is a great exercise to relate with the unexpected from mastery, from the mastery of resilience, with an independence and autonomy in ourselves. Resilience is always also important in our relationships. Resilience is not a path that we should go on alone. In our relationships, this virtue invites us to support each other and be a pillar of support for everybody around us. It is the capacity to maintain those significant connections, even in the most challenging moments. Today, we can ask ourselves, do I look for support when I'm facing a challenge, or do I try to resolve everything on my own? When we isolate ourselves, when we try to go on alone, when we are hurt, we're much more the relational system that sustains us and contains us is a fundamental pillar in our evolution. Am I being a source of resilience for the loved ones? Are we allowing ourselves to be a pillar for others when it's necessary? Do we allow ourselves to look for support in others when we are vulnerable? Resilience in relationships implies opening ourselves to vulnerability, a great challenge, especially for those of us who are used to be so independent, to be the strong ones. Isn't it tiring? Give yourself permission in this instant, through the pulse of your heart, to feel incoherence. Where would you like to find support in right now? It doesn't matter if he or she is alive or not. Feel their heart. It could be a person, it could be a pet, it could be a senior being. Who would like you to support you in this closing of 2024? And allow yourself to have it. Allow yourself to be vulnerable in this instant and asking for help to this being. Allow you to feel his or her support. Feel that opening up to vulnerability consciously is an act of power. And allow that this being give you all the support and sustainment that you need. It doesn't matter who he or she is. Feel he or her wisdom, love, unconditionality. Feel the certainty of his or her presence for you. When we look constantly the strengths, we go away from ourselves. We leave ourselves behind. As human beings, we are not linear. We have moments of strength and moments of vulnerability. It's we need to discern we are in each moment, and that is also resilience. If we cannot discern if I am vulnerable or strong in this moment, I will be exposed. If I can discern when I feel strong, and when I feel vulnerable, you will be exposed. So allow yourself to discern, to be resilient. Today, I find support in my relationships and support those around me. Together, we overcome any challenge when we share our burdens and our victories. We strengthen those bonds of trust web that support us in difficult moments. Resilience, as any spiritual virtue, has a spiritual dimension. It is a remembering that we are spiritual beings with an infinite capacity to overcome difficulties. It invites us to see challenges as opportunities to grow and evolve, trusting that each experience has a greater purpose. Just put your consciousness in the meaning, the evolutionary purpose of each one of the challenges that you have faced or are facing. Each challenge has a very deep evolutionary. Through the pulse of your heart, observe one of those great challenges of yourself. What is the sense, the evolutionary purpose that that challenge had or has? What did it teach me or is teaching me right now? Do you allow yourself to connect with your spiritual energy and your spiritual practices to find strength in the difficult moments? Spiritual resilience also means getting letting go of control and trusting life. It's an act of faith in the divine, in our own purpose in life. It allows us to accept what we cannot change and transform, which is within our power. It allows us to gain time. How much time we have lost because we were not able to let go, detach ourselves. When we allow ourselves to let go to the universe, anything that we are not able to change, we liberate ourselves. We gain time. One can try to do our best, but once we have done our best, just let go, gain time, be resilient. What are the recent challenges in this last year that have made you grow, that have taught you all those challenges this year? What are the practices, the actions that have helped you most in facing these difficulties with strength and, and trust and confidence? What actions to be resilient, to develop resilience? Do you allow yourself to feel and process your emotions instead of repressing them? Is there any emotion in this moment at the closing of the year that is defying you? Give yourself permission to observe it deeply in this moment from your consciousness with your pulse taken, and recognize as you observe it the internal resources that you have to transform it, to manage it. It could be visualizing light or pointing the beat of your heart towards it, or using your breath with each exhale to channel this emotion. We are here today to strengthen our trust in our ability to overcome obstacles, to allow ourselves to find support in people when we are feeling vulnerable or we're trying to solve something important. How do we recognize, how we do react when someone close to us is facing something difficult? How can we strengthen those bonds in a significant way? Creating a web of mutual support. How can we go a step forward in this web of support? And let your heart give you the answer. When we face obstacles, only obstacles, it is a very important instant in life. When an obstacle comes after another, you have two options: feel a victim or ask yourself, what meaning does this have? What evolutionary spiritual meaning does this have? Each experience, no matter how hard, has a purpose. Go deeper into that purpose, that message. Observe the areas of your life that need resilience in this moment. Observe the concrete steps that you need to take to strengthen that capacity to adapt or to let go. Okay, so we need stability and strength with this golden and deep blue rays. With each inhale, have your intention of absorbing this light, golden and deep blue. The light of resilience starts to dissolve fear, doubt, heaviness, and it does something more. It guides you so that you can connect with an infinite force that resides within you. It is a force that never breaks, that duality cannot touch. And now, the virtue of resilience is guiding you to know that part of you that is untouchable, that does not perish, that is indestructible, that is the being. Oh, this because she is born from this force. It is an extension of your being that is indestructible, of your essence that does not navigate in a dual reality, a reality of duality, that does not have to face obstacles, that is eternal, infinite, and complete by itself. Now, this great internal strength, together with resilience, will continue to guide you as if it were taking you by the hand softly to show you something. They will take you to an instant in where your belief system thinks that something harmed you, and resilience, together with this indestructible force that lives within you from your being, will show you that really nothing can actually touch you. And it liberates you from that observer towards yourself of being broken or fragmented by that situation, dissolving that fractal of yours that still has that wound, and liberates you. It liberates you. Feel the hug, the embrace of your higher being, of its resilience, and how you can walk with complete trust and certainty that your essence is indestructible. And from this axis of consciousness, from this strength, this resilience, allow yourself to be for others that need you, knowing that you are completely without bounds, without limits. You cannot run out of yourself. That you can be for anyone that needs you without limitations. For the infinite sentient beings, feel how your higher self transforms into infinite hands of resilience that extend from that part of you that is indestructible towards all beings. Our resilience, divine resilience in action. In this interface, the closing of the year, we are here for all sentient beings as pillars of that which is indestructible, for all of those who need it. not only to support them and take care of them, but to show them that they can are also indestructible, to remind them that they are untouchable in their essence of being. Allow that in this moment, a spiritual master of resilience present herself or himself through the podium. This master, the spiritual master, will give you a message about allow yourself to receive the message. Today, at a group level, a spiritual master will come to us. Today, I want to talk to you about Radia de Basoras, that was born in the 8th century in a city in Iraq. So let's begin to connect with her from the pulse of our hearts. In her moment, in her time, Basora was a very important center, intellectual and spiritual center. She was very poor from the start, but her spiritual devotions raised her to a very important place within Sufism. It's said that after the death of her parents, she was sold as a slave. And during that time, she showed a very strong devotion towards God and prayer, even while in servitude. And her master, acknowledging her spiritually, was freed. And she became an asset, renouncing to any material possession and dedicating her life to the spiritual path. She lived in austerity and isolation, focusing in meditation and communion with the divine. Within Sufism, she inserted the idea of loving God not because of fear, but because of love, unconditional love. And this concept influenced Sufism very much, and in generations of Islamic um, saints. So she was respected as a spiritual teacher and attracted many disciples. Her wisdom was widely known and recognized by other Sufis of her time. Many poems, writings that are attributed her to her have survived, enhancing her life. Some of the information on her life are actually legends. Her impact on the Sufi tradition is undeniable. She was a pioneer of transforming pain into illumination, showing how resilience and devotion can surpass barriers of time and circumstances. Rabia from Basora, one of the most respected persons in Sufism, is a master in resilience, in spiritual resilience. Born in such poverty and so extreme challenges, slavery, she suffered physical constraints, and as a woman had no way of expressing herself. Her own resilience and inner power allowed her to overcome all those things in the path of illumination. Her resilience was not only a passive resistance to pain, but an active response to the challenges that life posed for her. Instead of letting suffering define her, it was a way of fortifying her connection with the divine. Through her examples, she shows us that spiritual resilience is not only supporting uh, challenges, but finding a greater and deeper purpose in them. And so introduce another concept in Sufism: love God, not because of fear of punishment, but or wishing a reward, but because of unconditional love. And it's this unconditional love that is the base of her resilience. She transcended the limitations of her physical conditions and found that strength in her unbreakable faith. Even when living in under oppression, she left a great legacy of spiritual seek and resilience. Her ability to transform trials into opportunities inspires us while facing any type of challenge in any type of culture and situation. So, one of her most moving phrases that shows her resilience says, "Oh God, if I adore you because I fear hell, burn me in hell. And if I adore you because I want heaven, please exclude me. But if I love you because of yourself, don't hide your face from me." And this can show us that how resilience based in complete surrender to the divine can do. She is here for us to help us see our own suffering, our own challenges. Can we find a deeper purpose in all these trials? Her life shows us that resilience is not only overcoming challenges, but transforming them into a path for divine connection. Let's receive a message from her into our hearts so that she can inspire us as a spiritual teacher, especially in this closing of the year. Resilience has a property, a unique property of renovating you completely, because resilience manifests to you that you are able to face whatever. Today, we are closing one chapter in the book of our life, and we do it with the spiritual virtue of resilience that allows us to get up, to learn, and go forward, no matter how great the challenges that we have faced or are facing. Today is a day marked with gratitude, resilience, renovation, where we are able to honor light and shadow, recognizing that each experience of this year has been a great opportunity to grow and to fortify, to strengthen ourselves. This year has brought and knowledge. And each one of those moments, resilience was present. It could have been a spark or a flame, a constant flame that was here with us in the most obscure moments. Resilience reminds us that we can face the unknown with courage, that every aspect that did not go well is an opportunity to learn. Every challenge has an invaluable lesson within it. And as we look back, we can see, and in each one of those moments, we found within ourselves that strength that is unbreakable, that we didn't even know that we had. Today is the day to honor all that we have lived, honor it from our hearts, the challenges that we have faced and that taught us to be stronger, the losses that make us value what really matters, and the successes, big and small, that remind us of how capable we are. We honor it all. Resilience will always remind us that it isn't a matter of overcoming obstacles, but of finding the purpose and meaning of them. As we close this year, we take with us not only memories, but renewed strength. Let's look forward with deep hope, knowing that each challenge is a great opportunity, is a great blessing. Let's celebrate this unbreakable strength. Let's persist, adapt ourselves, and transform ourselves. May this virtue go with us in the following year, reminding us that we are stronger than we deem, and that with each step we are building a life filled with purpose, of coherence, of hope and love, with gratitude and strength. We close this year, and with resilience and faith, we will go forward. Take a deep breath and open your eyes softly. Since we will be, as we have done every day, we will dedicate the merits of our meditation today to all sentient beings. And I wish you a wonderful closing of 2024. Enjoy yourself and see you tomorrow in the new year. A great hug. Thank you, Paul. We'll go on tomorrow.